Hey beautiful people, my name is Nate PTK and I'm here to tell you all about the E-League 2022. What you need to get started, and of course the best news is anyone can qualify for this year's E-League. Now if you're completely unaware of what the E-League is, what I'm doing here, firstly, my name's Nate Patrick. I'm an esports commentator. I've commentated FIFA esports all around the world. Also done it for the E-League, do a little bit of reporting, journalism stuff. I'm here to hopefully just impart some facts onto you. You don't have to take the advice of a 30-something-year-old with a side-swept fringe, or, you know, considering that I triggered a whole bunch of people just by putting a Fox logo on an E-League jersey, you know, maybe you can give me your time. For real, though, I know there's a bunch of people that just don't care what I have to say, and you just want to complain about the E-League. Move on. Click on Pieface's Danny Aaron's latest video. It's class. He uses center backs up front. I loved it. I want to tell you about what I think you're going to need to do to get into the E-League. Take it for your own advice. Now, the E-League, of course, is the centerpiece, the jewel in the crown, if you like, of the Oceania FIFA esports season. And as you may have seen on Twitter earlier today, yes, can clarify, New Zealanders are able to qualify for the path to E-League and E-League itself. Now, the E-League proper will be taking place in May. There's two sort of group stage days, two final days. The last day will be a very much proper LAN event. Players there. We're going to get a lot of hype going for that one, I'm sure. That'll take place in Melbourne. I don't know if there's any word on a live crowd or not. I know with COVID, these things can change. But how fantastic is it to have a LAN event again? So every A-League's club will have two E-League competitors. It's a PlayStation-only tournament this year. Look, I love my Xbox.
It's okay, Bobby. They just don't love you like I do.
But as is sort of the global standard, we're going to stick with Sony PlayStation. The path to E-League is on PS4. The E-League itself, global standard, on PS5. So every club needs two competitors for the E-League. How are they going to get them? Well, some clubs have already signed their competitors. Flash the image of Sydney FC getting Footwiz Jamodo. Still doesn't sound right to me. And Footwiz Marco.
Oi, Marco!
That does sound right. Back at it. They are the premiers for Sydney FC from 2020. Beautiful people, been around since season 1. Fantastic to have Sydney FC locking them in. Now, honestly, even by the time I shoot this, edit this, get this out, I fully expect there to be more competitors announced. However, again, path to E-League, that's probably what you want to hear about, right? So if you're not one of these competitors that has this sort of existing relationship with a club, there's some A-League clubs who need E-League competitors. I believe Central Coast Mariners, just as an aside, and maybe there's a few others, are going to do some regional tournaments. Look, every one of those is different. Let me just say that. I've seen some of them done really well. I've seen some of them where it's just sort of like kickoff mode, and they're like, yay, we did a thing. I don't know personally if I rate it, but that's just me. What I am excited about is the path to E-League. For the first time ever, anyone, as long as you're a resident or citizen from Australia or New Zealand and you're 16 years or older, you can compete, register in the path to E-League. Now, as mentioned, that will be taking place on the PS4. A few people saying, I got a PS5, I'm important, look at me. Look, so do I, fam. You're not that special. However, PS4 is where the path to E-League is going, purely because, as I believe it, as I understand it, that's where the administration function is for tournaments. PS5 just doesn't have it yet. Sony have not yet got that happening for us, for FIFA, and so it just makes sense. Run it on PS4 where it exists. I just think it's fantastic that people have an opportunity to qualify. There's a lot of indecisiveness or uncertainty, I guess, from competitors saying, I should be in the E-League. I'm better than that jazz psychopath. You think you cracked an ultimate team, get into this tournament, and it's going to be like a combine type system as I understand it. So by that, I mean that results, of course, will be important. As I understand it, the top 30 competitors will be the ones considered for spots for the E-League. And let me just say that A-League clubs are all looking for different things. Now, again, let me reiterate. You might just hear all this stuff and be like, nah, I'm great at FIFA. I don't need to do anything else. All right. 5 years I've been doing this. Let me tell you, it only gets you so far, like it or not. You cannot be toxic to other competitors. A lot of people think that their messages don't get seen or that they don't get reputations in the industry, in the scene. Fam, esports is small. People will find you out sooner rather than later. If you are one of those toxic people, hopefully there's time for you to cut it out. You're not going to be considered by a club if you're like that. One of the other big things that I would say, of course, is not like a list of don'ts. All right, this isn't where we say you shall not send toxic messages. We want to be positive and talk about things that you can do. So encouraging others in the community, getting around them on Twitch, getting around their streams. Dare I say, even sending like a nice message if your opponent beats you when you're playing Foot Champs. That'll never happen. And creating content. Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, social media. There's so many different ways that you can create unique content. Find your niche, find your space in what you do. Maybe it is, as I sort of alluded to before, that Danny Aaron style foot content where you could be a top 30 player, but maybe you're around that 25 to 30 mark, but you're just making fire edits, fam. You're just creating some really awesome stuff where you do have like Ramos bicycle kick goals and people want to watch you. If you're an A-League club and you're looking for, again, someone that is positive and engaged as well, but then can offer you like a really good online presence, or even more than that, like a unique presence that's going to stand out, I think that has value, and I'm pretty sure the clubs will think that too. And of course, this is a competition associated with the A-Leagues itself. I don't know where you're at with the A-Leagues. I do some reporting on it personally. A lot of my sort of immediate fan base and friends all love it, and we talk about the games regularly. If you're a passionate A-Leagues fan, or maybe even better yet, passionate for a particular club, then maybe that's your way in. If you're at the games, I think one of the first example that comes to my mind is Airborne got to play for his sort of native Wellington Phoenix, a New Zealand competitor that has represented New Zealand itself as well. He's taken photos at him at the games, getting behind the lads on Twitter. I've seen that. Wellington saw that. Much more importantly, signed him as a competitor. I'm very sure that him being local, him being a passionate Wellington fan, helped him to represent Wellington in the E-League. And as hopefully you've seen on social media, registrations are open now. You can do it right now. Get on your PS4, go to the events tab, and you can register. Get amongst it. It's happening very quickly. It's the first time we've had this. Everyone's quite excited. I'm obviously excited. And we're going to find out from this sort of combined tournament type system who the top 30 players are, who's engaging well with the community, who's creating unique and engaging content. And in my humble opinion, we'll find some people out of there that will get to be in the E-League for the very first time. And if I put my commentator hat on for a moment, I'm so excited for those different storylines. You've got the old guard. Again, we talked about Marco, maybe Marcus, Jamie, who have been there since season 1. You've got the newer guard, if you like. I think of Naylor, I think of Dylan Campbell, and then you're going to have these brand new, unheard of talent, hopefully, that'll come through, shake up the scene. My point is, I think there is a place for everyone within FIFA esports. Find what you are good at, and if it is this competitor route, if you would like to test your skills in this avenue, this is the best chance you've ever had. And while I'm not really at liberty to say the exact clubs and the spots and allocations, again, off the record, just from Nate PTK and no one else, I'm very sure there are some clubs that are looking just to the path to E-League tournament for at least one competitor, if not both. Fam, you're not going to get a better opportunity than this. And then we have the E-League itself. I sort of like that April, particularly that latter half of April. It's almost like a hype month. What I understand is that the E-League want to go really hard in developing these narratives and stories this year. I've already mentioned a few of them very briefly in this video. There are so many incredible competitors that have stories, that have things that they've done, the way that they've started from maybe not much to being a world famous FIFA esports competitor. I think it's incredible. The E-League want to promote those stories a lot more. I would personally love to get behind them, like, give them a little bit of excitement and hype. Because for me, and again, the crux of this video, the crux of what I believe the E-League should be about is the competitors, fam. Too long, too often, in my opinion, have we potentially, and I say we as someone that's worked on behalf of the E-League in the past, focused on the wrong things. Tried to hype up the wrong people. Maybe we think we just get the most famous people involved and people will care. And again, speaking on behalf of myself, the focus should always be on these competitors, some that have been around from the beginning, some that are just emerging. I cannot wait for those stories to be revealed during April. And then we get to the big dance, the E-League itself, going to take place, I believe, over 4 unique days in May. And no, not just sort of back to back to back to get it done, spread out nicely, to have these storylines develop as the tournament progresses, have like a group stage type thing, a finals day, and as I mentioned earlier, then the sort of big last finals day where we get the players in to the E-League on a LAN event. Hopefully really get those rivalries happening as well. It's that friendly sort of intensity in competition that we're looking for. By then, hopefully through mainstream media, Twitch, social media, everywhere else. Everyone is aware of who these finalists are, what's at stake, and why it's so important. And what is at stake? Well, of course, it is those spots for the Global Series Playoffs 2, which mean the grand finalists will each make it through. And now this is the most off-the-record thing that I've said, and I'll probably get a little bit of feedback. You can't say that...
Nate, shh. Nathan, the video was good up until whatever minute mark this is.
But I'm confident, fam. I'm confident that in Season 5, this year of the E-League, that the competitors, the players, will be rewarded for their efforts. Now, I don't want to go on about what happened last season. I appreciate that a lot of people have worked really hard, and I say that with all sincerity, to make things happen. I just know that personally, I had to make a choice about how I view the competitors and what I think they're worth. My viewpoint has not changed for this season, and one of the very first things that I've said, and I'll keep on saying it again, just like we need to champion the competitors' stories, make the E-League about them, they should be rewarded for their jobs. All right, now that's going to get me in trouble. I'm putting it in the video anyway. That's what I believe. It is like a core pillar of who I am as a person, as somebody who used to compete for plastic trophies, and it meant nothing. We now actually have proper celebrities in our midst.
I do this really clever thing. I cover up my face for controversial points, and then I can't legally be held responsible because anyone could be talking, you know? Give them the bag, man. Just give them the bag, okay? I don't mean like a literal bag. You know what I'm trying to say. You know what I want to say here, but I'm too scared to say it. Don't give them an actual bag, like a backpack. Give them the bag. Give them the bag.
All right, is it all coming together? Is it all making sense? Boom. Anyone from Australia and New Zealand over the age of 16 can compete in the Path to E-League tournament. From there will be spots available at some A-League clubs. There are some spots that are already taken up because A-League clubs really like particular competitors like Sydney FC and Jamodo and Marco. Then we have April as this hype month where we get to build the narratives and the stories of these incredible competitors. And then it is the big one itself, the E-League taking over sort of 4 weeks on 4 individual days in May, culminating in hopefully what will be a really special, memorable grand final. Again, I know there's a lot of finer details to come out, and they will come out as we progress. This is day 1, day 0 of this sort of E-League announcement. I just wanted to feed this initial info out there to any of you who are wondering how it's going to work this year in terms of squad restrictions. Will there be A-League players involved? Maybe one in the finals stage. I may well do further YouTube videos. I did a Twitch stream yesterday to try and, I guess, get the excitement started there. I tweet out things. I put stuff in my Discord. I will do my best as sort of what I currently am, an independent source, to feed this information through to you. But as always, this is me. This is my opinion. Stay tuned to the E-Leagues channels for the official info. I'll keep asking you questions as long as they're positive and constructive. Personally, I'm very excited by the new partnerships. Of course, it is like the APL, the A-League, sort of a new running of the E-League itself. I believe it could be one of the best seasons ever. I believe it could sort of rival Season 1 in terms of this fresh new start that we're getting. I'll try and keep you informed. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day.
Just give them the bag, man, please. Like, Marcus Gomes eats so much Nando's, man. I've seen the posts. Feed my boy Marcus, man. Feed him. He's not big. He needs the Nando's.